Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's 9:45 here in London. I'm TK, and this is Coach on the Rocks. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you're here, and hopefully, you are having a wonderful week. Today, I wanted to talk about an interesting article by Evan Leybourn about trust in the organizations. It actually prompted me to recall some of my thoughts, and after reading this, I thought it would be something that's really important to talk about. Because I think if you're in a people team, if you're a leader, this is extremely important. So, Evan makes a wonderful point that I wholeheartedly agree with, which is that modern organizations are built on the foundation of mistrust towards their employees. And you know what? I think he's quite right. Most of the organization I've been a part of, or I've been working with, have this basic assumption that there's a certain level of mistrust towards employees. What do I mean by that? Right? There's all the talk about theory X, theory Y. There's various methods designed to help people be productive, but when you really look deep inside, like for instance, many methods under the umbrella of agility, you will find that they are not open about why certain things are done, and they just there to not necessarily only encourage, but maybe even force people to be productive. So they have no easy way of escaping, because it seems like it's very hard to trust people to do their job to the best of their abilities. It's really hurtful. And I could sit here all day and talk to you about, how it is important to trust your employees, how they can do the best job. But maybe I'll take a different approach. You see, it's not that I find it easy to trust people in my team myself, and never had. Of course, nowadays I'm much more conscious and reflective about it. But this nibble, this small, itch still remains. And I remember myself, I was reflecting while reading the article and reflecting today. Oh man, many years ago, when I've just started as a leader, and I was actually on some training and we were practicing leadership situations. I remember we had a bit of a practice of how would you introduce yourself as a leader to a new team, and we're supposed to role play. And I remember I said something that, public speaker as I am, back then maybe I wasn't that trained, but still liked it as I do now. I remember saying, I'm not in a business of banking, so I don't give trust on credit. And I thought it's quite smart and cute to say that. I even once said it to a real team. I regret it so much. I regret being okay. So most people, if you're reflective, and I guess as a leader you should be, you will feel like there were times when you've done stupid things, and that's one of these times for me. That I thought that you can't just trust people, employees in particular, but overall. And there's, I'm not saying command and control, because I thought, you need a balance. I knew as much back then. And I think what's really interesting is because most of organizations are built this way, and most of leaders, when they grow in these organizations, get immersed with this belief that you have to be a bit mistrustful towards your employees, it's extremely hard to root it out, to unlearn, to just take it and throw it out, right? Of course, the first step is reflection, understanding what it does to people, and it does many awful things. It really diminishes a lot of value that people can add, but possibly it's, you can read Ewan's great article and I'll listen to other Coach on the Rocks episodes. Maybe, if you make a comment or send me a message, I can talk about it some more. about the positive aspects of really being able to trust. But the important thing is maybe having empathy towards people that were raised in organizations that really mistrust each other's. I think there's not that many that really support trust. In fact, which is interesting, I think many military organizations are based on like putting your life in someone else's hands and trusting the structures, trusting the family you're in. But many businesses aren't, sadly. And I think just having empathy towards leaders and people that were raised this way to help them in the process of getting to grips with this mistrust is helpful for everyone. Now, especially if you're in the people team, in the L&D team, if you're like myself, a leadership development coach, it's just important to help people reflect on that, where they're coming from. It's 2024, and I still have some issues, right? When things go wrong, and when I can see that people being people, they make mistakes, right? Or they forget things, or they just, can't be bothered because they're tired, overworked, and they had some other things. This nagging feeling of mistrust, this voice, this judge voice in my head is ringing out. You really have to figure out how to deal with that and make sure that, okay, it's there, right? It's there, but it's not something you need to immediately react to. If you've heard me talking about the leadership circle as the reactive and creative mindset. And the creative mindset is just saying, okay, I understand you, my internal judge. I know how I feel about it. I'm starting to make assumptions. Possibly some are valid. And, but, let's think about what's possible. What are the other things that might be happening? What do you do in this situation to make it effective and not like let your emotions carry forward? And it's interesting for a person. I always thought of myself as someone that really has a strong work ethic and always gives his best. Right? So I think, it's easy to maybe justify when I was younger and less experienced the mistrust I might have had. But asking myself today, I was like, have I always, managed to really be trustworthy? Have I never betrayed the trust of, my employers? There were situations. There's always are situations. I remember there's one situation which constantly plagues me when I think about it and I can't get to grips with it. Maybe I just write to people and apologize because it's a cool one. I'm not going to go into very deep specifics, but essentially, I think I definitely betrayed a trust of a set employee, and they caught me, but in such a way that I was never given feedback, so I never really noticed that I've been caught. Like, never properly got to grips with it. And yeah, I guess that's another one. And now I'm relieving it, really being able to reflect on the fact, right? So no one's out of the question. I'm not perfect myself, and I don't think anyone is. I don't think anyone in any organization is, but we're just human. And I think you can gain much more if you do trust people and if you build your organization on trust. Doing my best in Humble Associates. It's a journey, and maybe we'll never get there. But maybe it's the journey of reflection that really matters. With that being said, I wish you all the best for the day. And as always, I'll see you back again tomorrow at 9:45 for the next episode of Coach on the Rocks. Bye-bye.